Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to Economicspedia and welcome to the second part of autocorrelation function and partial autocorrelation function. I hope you have remembered every single details that we have discussed in the previous part of this session, that is where we have discussed in great details the minor aspects and the important concepts of the autocorrelation function. So today in this session, I will be covering for the partial autocorrelation function. So without any further ado, let's begin today's session. Partial autocorrelation function. This is denoted by rho k star, or we can write it as the correlation between y and u1. That means it is basically the correlation between that part of the dependent variable which is unexplained by the regressor. That thing is being captured over here. Now for this we need to do a little bit of expansion. So we have, let us start with the AR process of order k. I am erasing this. AR process of order k. Phi k naught plus of phi k1 yt minus 1 phi k minus 1 y of t minus 1 and phi k y t minus k plus 1, and here we have t minus k with the epsilon t. If you have any problem with seeing this, I'm just reading it out. So here we have yt plus of phi k naught plus phi k1 yt minus 1 plus dot dot plus phi k minus 1 yt minus k plus 1 plus phi k yt minus k plus epsilon t. So this is the expansion of the AR of order k, lag length k. Now if I have to find out the value of yt given yt minus 1 and yt minus k. Okay, so here we have phi k naught plus phi k1 yt minus 1 dot dot phi k into k minus 1 yt minus k plus 1, and the last term will be phi k yt minus k. That is it. So this is what we get after taking the expectation, conditional expectation of yt. Okay, and if I take the conditional expectation yt, a term before the last term, then we have the expansion that says phi k naught phi k1 y t minus 1, okay, plus phi k minus 1 yt minus k plus 1. That means once the conditional expectation is done before one term less than the previous one, we in our expansion also we have a term less than the previous one, and we, in this case, in the newer case, we just omitted the last term. Okay, so this is the expectations, conditional expectations that we have obtained. Why we have obtained this? Coming to that. Now moving on, let's see what the partial autocorrelation function we have found out. While calculating the autocorrelation function, we always have to include the marginal change from yt to yt minus k. What I am saying is, the autocorrelation function for ACF, we have found that if we want to find a direct relation between yt and yt minus k, it can only be obtained via yt minus 1, yt minus 2, dot dot correlation yt minus k plus 1 and yt minus k. So if we want to find a direct relation between this yt and yt minus k, we can find it with the correlation of yt minus 1, correlation of yt minus 1, yt minus 2, so on till yt minus k plus 1 and yt minus k. So we cannot find the direct impact or relation between these two under the autocorrelation function. So we have to take the marginal change into our account while discussing the direct effect. But if we want to find the direct effect between the correlation of the first term and the last term, then what do we need to do? We just need to eliminate the intervening effect, which is known as partially outing effect. So to get the direct effect, we need to remove the intervening effect between the two. That means we have to remove all these variables in between them in order to get the direct effect. Okay, now partial autocorrelation function allows us to do this. We can have our intervening effect into effect if we have partial autocorrelation function. See, partial autocorrelation function or rho k star is nothing but the correlation between yt minus expectation of yt given yt minus 1 dot dot comma y of t minus k. So this is the intervening effect that we are able to eliminate in order to find the partial autocorrelation function or direct correlation between the yt and the last term. Okay, so once we are done with this, we can find that we have the value as phi k yt minus k epsilon t and y of t minus k. Now if we simply just add multiply it over here, yt minus k, this is one term, and correlation between epsilon t y of t minus k. So here we are finding that the partial autocorrelation function is nothing but phi kk. That is the order of the series, that is the order of the AR series. The coefficient of that is the partial autocorrelation function. And here, as we can find that the correlation between epsilon t and yt minus k is equal to 0. And if you are wondering how we obtain this, so correlation between yt minus k and yt minus k is absolutely 1 because it is the same term. Okay, so this is the partial autocorrelation function for the AR series because we have started with the AR series. Now, this is the general form of the function for the AR series, partial autocorrelation function. So what we obtain, that rho k star is equal to phi kk, right? Now let's take AR1 for instance, and writing it as phi 1 1 yt minus 1 and epsilon t. So what the rho k star would be? It would be phi 1 1 because we have the partial autocorrelation function to be the coefficient of the highest degree of the lag, that is this. Now, so this is rho 1 star. If I am doing rho 2 star, that is equal to 0 because we do not have the second lag length. Here also find that if lag length is equal to 1, we can say that we have a value, but once the lag length is greater than 1, it suddenly drops down to 0. So here the partial autocorrelation function, if you measure k here and rho k star over here, then we have the partial autocorrelation function of AR series looks like this, suddenly drops down to 0. Okay, now it's time for the MA series. Let's start with MA1. MA of order 1. How it looks like? Theta 1, epsilon t minus 1. Now I am going to incorporate a lag operator. Theta 1 L into a theta t into epsilon t. This was epsilon t. So here we have yt. There is no change of that. Now if I can write this as epsilon t, taking this whole thing upon this side, we are getting that phi 1 L whole to the power minus 1 into yt. Now expanding this series, that is epsilon t is equal to 1 minus theta 1 L plus theta 1 square L square minus theta 1 cube L cube plus dot dot dot. So it's going on like this, and at the end we have a yt multiplied with it. Now once this whole equation is being multiplied with minus 1 to the power I, we obtain this thing. Phi 1 square yt minus 2, and it's going on. So this is obtained when minus 1 to the power I is multiplied with this whole equation. Okay, and from here the series is not done. We can find, just rewriting it in some other way, we can obtain that yt is equal to theta 1 yt minus 1 plus theta 2 yt minus 2 and dot 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 plus of epsilon t. So after arranging this equation into this order, we can say that this particular yt follows AR of order infinity, isn't it? Therefore this yt is nothing. Over here we are just concerned with the MA series. So here MA of order 1 ultimately follows AR of order infinity. So here we have proved this also, that how the MA1 series is can follow the AR of order infinity series. So now we have found that it just in the previous case where in the partial autocorrelation function where I was discussing the AR series, where the partial autocorrelation function was suddenly drops down to 0. Here we can find that it goes on till infinity, right? So, and since it ultimately follows the AR series, so we can write that here the partial autocorrelation function is phi 1 to the power k. Isn't it very much similar to the autocorrelation function? Yes, it is. And therefore we have the diagram of the partial autocorrelation function for MA series, which will ultimately look like this. since it follows AR of order infinity. So therefore it is said that this autocorrelation and partial autocorrelation function, if we can analyze them through the graph, then we can automatically and very easily can conclude that what type of series or stochastic series they are following. So this is the usage and the importance of the autocorrelation as well as the partial autocorrelation function. So I hope you have understood every single details of autocorrelation function and partial autocorrelation function, and also the minor difference between this autocorrelation function and partial autocorrelation function. And I hope that you can now solve all the competitive questions as well as from questions from your universities or college level as well. But if not, please remember that team from Economicspedia is always beside you to help you and tackle and make you tackle from every single questions that you face. Now, if you have any sort of that questions that you need to solve and you are into a trouble of some type, please don't hesitate to contact us through our official mail ID, that is ecopedia02@gmail.com. Or you can also reach us through our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram as well, the links of which you can find below in the description box. And also let us know your views on today's session below in the comment section as well. Thank you for watching this. I hope to see you in the next session.